The grand doors of the Hawthorne Manor swung open under a canopy of twinkling lights, the kind that screamed old money and fresh vows. I stepped inside, the hem of my emerald dress brushing the marble floor, heart pounding like a drum in a quiet room. Atlanta's elite had gathered here for Emily's wedding, my husband's little sister, the golden child who'd always floated through life on a cloud of privilege. But today, 1 hour before the I do's, I felt like a ghost at my own haunting. The air hummed with laughter and the clink of crystal. But no one turned my way. Not a nod. Not a wave. I'd confirmed my attendance twice. Even sent a gift ahead. But here I was, invisible in a sea of silk and suits. I wandered toward the memory wall, a massive display of framed photos chronicling the Reed family's triumphs. Emily's college graduation in Boston, Mark's promotion party in New York, their parents' cruise to the Bahamas. And there, tucked in the corner, a shot from our family ski trip last winter in Aspen. I'd organized it all, booked the lodge, handled the rentals, even covered the lift tickets when Emily forgot her card. But in the photo, I was gone, cropped clean out, leaving just the tip of my red scarf fluttering in the wind. A stranger might think I'd never been there. "Weren't you supposed to be in that one?" a voice murmured beside me. It was one of Emily's old sorority sisters, swirling a cocktail, her tone laced with fake curiosity. "I was," I replied, keeping my voice steady. She shrugged, eyes already drifting away. "Huh. Must have been a glitch."
Glitch. Right.
I forced a smile and moved on, weaving through clusters of guests trading stock tips and vacation stories. At the bar, I overheard a group praising Emily's rise in the tech world. She bootstrapped that startup from nothing, pure grit. I nearly laughed. I'd connected her with her first investor, proofread her business plan late into the night, even loaned her seed money she promised to repay soon. But facts didn't fit the narrative. I wasn't angry yet, just that slow burn of realization. Like watching a pot simmer before it boils over. The seating chart loomed ahead, etched in elegant script on a gilded board. I scanned for my name, Sarah Reed. Nothing. Scanned again. There it was, Samantha Reed, event coordinator. A young attendant handed me a badge with a polite smile. "This yours?" "Logistics team." My throat tightened.
No.
"That's not me." He frowned, checking his list. "Says here you're on setup duty. Need directions to the back." Behind me, a couple whispered, "Is she with the caterers? Ask about the vegan options." I set the badge down gently, turned on my heel, and walked away. Not storming, not crumbling, just walking. Because sometimes the loudest statement is silence.
Outside.
The manicured gardens offered a brief escape, the scent of jasmine heavy in the humid Georgia air. I leaned against a stone pillar, breathing deep. No tears. I'd learned long ago that showing weakness only fed their game. Flashbacks hit like whispers. The family barbecue where I wasn't invited. The holiday card that listed me as an guest. The group text that mysteriously dropped me. Mark always said, "They're just busy," but busy doesn't explain erasure. My phone buzzed, a text from an old friend, deal closed. $15 million wired. Congrats.
Sarah.
I'd just sealed the biggest contract of my career. Yet here I was, reduced to a footnote in someone else's fairy tale. As staffer approached, headset buzzing. "Emily needs you in the bridal suite." Something about the veil. I followed her through a side door. The backstage chaos a stark contrast to the polished front, makeup brushes scattered, dresses unzipped, the raw underbelly of perfection. Emily stood before a full-length mirror, her gown a cascade of lace, bridesmaids fluttering around like anxious birds. She didn't look up. "Fix the train, it's bunching." Habit kicked in. I knelt, fingers grazing the fabric I'd helped her choose months ago. As I smoothed it, her hand flicked out sharp, dismissive, like swatting a fly. Don't, you'll snag it. The room went still. A bridesmaid coughed. Another averted her eyes. Emily turned back to her reflection. You can go now. I rose slowly. The sting not from the slap, but the casual cruelty. It wasn't the first time. Remember the Easter dinner where she blamed me for the overcooked ham I'd slaved over? Or the birthday party where she introduced me as Mark's assistant? I'd always smoothed it over.
Kept the peace.
But peace at what cost? I left the suite. The hallway closing in, clarity sharpening like a blade. This wasn't oversight. It was orchestration. Back in the ballroom, the programs were stacked neatly. I flipped one open. Toasts listed. My name crossed out, replaced by two of Emily's friends. I'd prepared a short blessing. Emailed it weeks prior. No reply. I headed to the sound booth. The tech guy glanced up. Speech video? Under Sarah Reed. He typed. Shook his head. Nothing here. Bride said to cut extras for time. Emily's voice floated over. We streamlined. No hard feelings. Her smile was a mask. I pocketed my backup drive. Understood. The rejection wasn't new, but the weight of it settled heavy now. I found a quiet alcove. Opened my speech draft on my phone. Family sees you, even in the shadows. Whispered it to myself. The ceremony loomed. What next? The string quartet swelled as guests filed into the garden. White chairs aligned like soldiers under a tented sky. I slipped into a back row. The program crumpling in my hand. Whispers rippled. Emily's vision is flawless. Did it all herself. I bit my tongue. Her vision included the florist I'd recommended, the planner I'd vetted after her first one flaked. But credit? Vanished like smoke. Mark sat up front with his parents, not glancing back. We'd argued last night. You're overthinking, he'd said. They love you. Love doesn't crop you out. The processional began. Emily gliding down the aisle like a queen. Her groom beaming. Vows exchanged. Rings slipped on, picture perfect. Then the reception kicked in. Toasts flowing like the open bar. When it was time for family blessings, Emily's friends took the mic, gushing about her solo journey. My slot? Skipped. I gripped my glass, the bubbly turning flat. Over by the dessert table, a cluster of relatives chatted. Emily's come so far without any help. One aunt added, no loans, no favors, just her drive. My fingers went cold. Flashback. 6 months back. Emily at our kitchen table. Tears streaming. The venue deposit short.
Can you spot me?
I'll repay with interest. I transferred the funds that night. No questions. Repaid? Not a dime. I excused myself to the patio. The night air a cool slap. My phone lit up. More congrats on the deal. Investors praising my hustle. Irony twisted sharp. Inside, they toasted her self-made myth. Out here, I held the receipts. A man in a tux approached, Emily's colleague. Hey, aren't you the one who hooked her up with a venture firm? I nodded.
Yeah.
At that conference in San Francisco. He whistled. Change her life. She owes you.
Owed.
Past tense. I scrolled old messages. Emily begging for intros. Promising shoutouts. None came. Influence fades when unclaimed. Voices carried from inside. Sarah who?
Oh.
Mark's wife, the quiet one.
Quiet.
The word that masks irrelevant. I re-entered, weaving to the gift table. My package sat unopened. A custom piece I'd designed. Nearby, Emily laughed with her bridesmaids. One spotted me. Need help carrying trays? Mistaken again. I smiled thinly.
No.
But I funded half the spread. Her face paled. Emily turned, eyes narrowing. Everything okay? Her tone dripped false concern. Perfect, I said, walking away. The damning pressure built slow at first, then insistent. During dinner, speeches continued. Mark's turn. He praised Emily's independence. No mention of me. Hurt bloomed, but resolve hardened. I pulled out my phone, forwarded the venue contract to a journalist friend, anonymous tip. Check the funding.
Petty?
Maybe. Necessary? Absolutely. The band struck up. Couples dancing. Mark finally approached. Dance. I shook my head. I'm good. He frowned. What's wrong? Nothing you haven't ignored.
He sighed.
Walked away. Alone again. Later, as cake was cut, Emily pulled me aside. The photographer wants family shots. Stand in the back. Back. Always. I posed. Smile fixed. But inside, the simmer hit boil. My phone buzzed. Journalist. Got it. Story dropping soon. I exhaled. No going back. The dance floor pulsed with rhythm. Lights swirling like confetti in a storm. I stood on the edge, watching Emily twirl in the center. The crowd adoring. But cracks showed, her smile too tight. Glances darting. Whispers spread. Did you hear about the funding drama? My tip had landed. Phones glowed as guests checked alerts. Emily's face drained when she saw the headline. Bride's lavish wedding bankrolled by overlooked sister-in-law. She scanned the room, eyes locking on me. Stormed over. You, hissed low. How could you? I met her gaze. Truth hurts. She grabbed my arm. This is my day. I pulled free.
Was.
Until you made it a lie. Guests murmured. Mark intervened. Sarah? Not now. When? Then? After more erasures? The band faltered. Emily's voice rose. You're jealous. I laughed softly. Of what? Building on my back. I stepped to the mic. Uninvited. The room hushed. Family isn't a photo op, I began. Voice steady. It's acknowledgement. I funded this. Connected her. Fixed her messes. But I'm cropped out. Slapped away. Forgotten.
Gasps.
This ends now. Chaos erupted. Guests whispered furiously. Emily's groom looked stunned. Sponsors checked phones. Deals pulling back. I walked off stage. Head high. Mark followed. What have you done? What I should have years ago.
Outside.
Air electric. My phone exploded. Support pouring in. Emily's world cracked wide. The reception unraveled like a pulled thread. Guests trickled out. Murmurs turning to stares. Emily huddled with her team. Damage control failing. Headlines multiplied. Wedding scandal. Hidden hero speaks out. My inbox flooded. Women sharing similar tales. Mark cornered me. We can fix this. No, I said. I'm done fixing. He looked broken. I should have seen. You did. Chose not to. I left him there. In the garden. A child tugged my dress. Are you the brave lady? I knelt. Just honest. She hugged me. That anchored it. Back inside. Vendors thanked me quietly. Your check kept us paid. Emily's facade crumbled. Apology video posted. Tearful. Insincere. Views soared. But backlash hit harder. Brands dropped her. I packed my bag. Flight booked. Freedom tasted sharp.
Sweet.
Morning light filtered through my Austin hotel. City humming below. Headlines praised my stand. Woman reclaims narrative at family wedding. Invites rolled in. TED Talks.
Books.
Emily's empire shrank. Mark's texts begged forgiveness. I replied once. Silence was your choice. Bored am I plain. Lighter. In my journal, not revenge, reclamation. Landed home. Calls from strangers. You inspired me to leave. A panel invite. Unsilenced voices. I accepted. Months later. On stage. Value isn't extracted, it's echoed. Applause thundered. Book draft complete. They erased me. I redrew the lines. Lingering question. When does silence become complicity? For me, it ended that night. For others, the story continues.